There was definitely no chance of slipping Tiny Dancer in there at the end with that amount of waffle, was there?
Well, time for this.
Ocean Drives films with Eclipse Dine-In Cinemas Bundoran. Now serving pizza, hot dogs, ice cream, and more to your seat. Find out more at Eclipse Cinema.
Well, he's back from his travels and he's looking fit and, he's looking fit and happy. Collie's here with the latest from Eclipse Cinemas in Bundoran. Very good afternoon to you.
Yeah, as always, it makes me think the wonders that a Zoom call can do with their filters if I'm looking fit and healthy. You know, I'm way too old for 3 days in a row. Now, we're going to watch clips of a movie which, you know, I think Keanu Reeves might be up at 60 at this stage, and you see him moving around, you go, how the hell do you do that? A couple of weeks ago, we were watching Tom Cruise at 60. I'm telling you, these men never had a weekend away at Rory Gallagher. I tell you that much.
Absolutely. We've got some great movies this week and a bit of choice for everybody, really. Something for everybody.
Well, yeah, absolutely. The two main movies on Friday are very much for, adults only. But we've got I think it's going to be one of the films of the year. Certainly Universal, the film company, they really think they've something big happening. And as you probably saw in the headlines, both Mission Impossible and Lilo and Stitch have done record numbers recently. And before that, we had Minecraft. Universal think How to Train Your Dragon might be the biggest movie of the year. We'll see when we get there on Monday. But I suppose first we should talk about one of tomorrow's movies.
Absolutely. And Ballerina and what caught my ear was Elton John's Tiny Dancer.
Yes. And
the soundtrack.
I said to you off air, I watched the trailer about 3 times before I went, oh, duh, Ballerina. But because you were saying all that as we were getting ready to go off air, since I've been doing this review, all I've got is the bloody song playing in my head now. But let's play the clip first. Let's everyone understand what we're talking about.
You don't choose to be a killer. You are chosen.
No, I chose this.
Consequences.
Risen from the ashes again and again.
Buena suerte, señorita.
Hey, it looks good. It does.
It looks fun, doesn't it? But you said it afterwards. Now, full confession, we never lie about these things. I haven't actually seen it yet. Unfortunately, Lionsgate, in their wisdom, it only unlocks at 12 o'clock tonight, so I haven't had a chance to see it. However, you said it off air. You went, well, clearly the review is, if you like John Wick, you're going to love this. And that's exactly how I feel too. I love John Wick, and I'm not big into violent stuff, but there's a ballet, joke not intended, pun not intended, in John Wick always. It's just such a beautiful thing. And while they can be a bit squunchy violence, most of the time it's more, wow, that's hilarious. The way they do that, it's great. Add that in to, basically a younger model of it. And Ana de Armas, who again, people might remember, she's been in lots of stuff, but she had a cameo in the last Bond movie. And the last Bond movie was quite serious, if you remember. And she had the one bit, she kind of played a Cuban agent, and she was brilliant at action scenes, but it was really funny because she kind of had the comedy action moment in the middle of the movie that kind of broke up the po face stuff. And I remember thinking, God, do you think somebody's going to make her an action star? Clearly, they had a plan. And now, with the amount of action and set pieces in this, the choreography of it, it takes a long time to get this done. So be waiting for this. It just looks like tremendous fun. I would say, if you never liked the John Wick movies, this is probably not going to be for you. But anyone who does like a really good, fun action movie that you throw all belief, all out the window, and you just enjoy the dance of it, the fun, the excitement. They just say, you're not entertained yet. See this, we'll double it. It looks like great fun, and it looks like maybe it's going to go on and on. It's set between John Wick 3 and John Wick 4. So he definitely makes an appearance. And there's lots of rumours we're getting a John Wick 5 as well. Will Ana de Armas be in it as well? Well, I suppose we'll find out.
I see Gabriel Byrne is in the cast as well. Gabriel
Byrne as well. And Ian McShane having a great time. Did you know, I heard this on a radio station this morning. Did you know Ian McShane is the voice at the start of Slave to Rhythm by Grace Jones? I never knew that. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Grace Jones. I didn't know that. This has nothing to do with movies. My boss will be listening to this going, why is he saying that instead of talking about popcorn? But it's true, and I knew you'd be interested in it.
Yeah, there's kind of musical thing going on this week. Saoirse Ronan is going to appear in
Talking Heads, yeah.
Talking Heads video, yeah. The
Best
50
actress,
years
great band.
Anyway, enough of that. Right, let's move on to it's back. It's Dangerous Animals, an
Yeah.
American-Australian
Yeah, not for
survival
you,
horror
Jamie.
film.
100%.
Okay, all I'd say is Jaws.
Yeah, 100%. Jaws meets Saw, that's most of the same letters. So, and I think that's probably how it was pitched. I was thinking of this day. When I was watching the trailers for this, I was going, well, Seamie will hate it. By the way, the trailer is really clever because the trailer doesn't show, the original trailer doesn't show that they sent to the cinemas, doesn't show any clips of the movie, just has a soundtrack, and it's very clever. The YouTube trailer, it shows much more. But I was watching this and I was going, Seamie will hate this, and really, it's not for me either. So it's about a serial killer. He kidnaps all these female surfers, likes to feed them to sharks, right? It's not my thing. I'm tired of all the debris. But I was also thinking, my great friend Linda, who works in the cinema with me, she would have, within 2 seconds of that speech, she would have been going, take my money now. Give me the ticket. Because people do love this. Like Linda, they're often the nicest, kindest, loveliest people who just love a horrible movie for an hour and a half and get everything out there, right? They just get everything out. They go home and they sleep like a baby. This would give me nightmares. And I think that's probably quite a positive review, because the people listening to it go, oh yeah, gonna love me a bit of this. So if you like a really like Hostel or Saw or that sort of movie, The Black Phone, you're gonna love this. Probably not for me and Jamie, but yeah, you're gonna love this.
It looks good though. Oh, yeah, it does indeed. Now, this is How to Train Your Dragon. This looks like it's going to be the biggest movie of the year.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, well, we think so. So we're going to see it on Monday. Technically, we'll be reviewing this next week because it's one of those, it actually opens next week, but there's previews starting on Monday. And look, the cartoons were, first of all, the books are absolutely brilliant. Brilliant children's books. They made brilliant cartoons of it, and they've decided to make it into live action. And like, you get Jared Butler playing the same character he played in it. But because of the teenagers and dragon sign, it looks really good, doesn't it? Just from the clips, it looks like they've got the balance right.
At their best,
Again, we've slagged off things like Lion King when they made a real version of it, and you go, it's still cartoon. Whereas this looks like it makes sense to see this magical world in done this way on the biggest screen, because the whole thing is the power and the majesty of the dragons. Just for anyone who doesn't know, the story is the Vikings are at war with the dragons all the time. One kid finds an injured dragon, and instead of killing it, he decides to train it and become friends. And how is this going to change the whole Viking things? I absolutely loved the books and the comics, or the cartoons. I think people are going to love this, whether they've already grown up watching them, or you're a new 8-9-year-old. It's a boy and his cute animal friend changing the world. It's worked for 150 years. It'll work for 150 years more. But I'm looking forward to it, and I'll tell you whether it looks it's as good as the trailer when I see you on next Thursday.
Okay, right. Missed it Monday now. I actually missed this, and it's the Penguin lessons, and this looks great. Steve Coogan.
Yeah, Steve Coogan on great form as a grumpy but likable fella. He's in South America. He's teaching English. Nobody cares. Nobody cares what he's doing. But he meets this woman, and try and impress her, he rescues a penguin. The woman doesn't stick around, but the penguin does and keeps on following him. And he ends up, and he's trying to get rid of the penguin the whole time. This is mostly based on a true story. And because it's one of these you Google straight away after watching the movie, you go, wow. But as usual, the most unbelievable bits, i.e. all the bits with the penguin, are completely 100% true. I really enjoyed this, as well as showing it on Mr. Monday for 5:50. It's also a parent and baby screening on Thursday at 10 o'clock, and everyone's just going to love it. There's a few tears, but you're going to really enjoy it. It's absolutely great, by the same people who wrote things like Philomena and Stan and Ollie.
Yes.
So they know how to tell a story, make it funny, and also make it poignant. I loved it. I think you would really enjoy this one, Chevy.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that now. And then I, like you, and I found out it was a true story. I went,
yep.
It's interesting.
And can I go? No. I know we have to go, but quick.
No, we're grand. We have a good minute. And I wanted to talk about Peppa Pig, which is really more interesting. This is where I wanted to get to on the whole thing today.
So about 3 years ago, there was the first Peppa Pig cinema experience. And I was going, I hear it might be busy. And you kind of took me aside and said, son, let a wise man tell you what to do.
Yes.
It'll be bananas. It was
bananas.
It was metal. There was like 60 people going to see Peppa Pig, in each screening last weekend, bank holiday weekend, with Rory Gallagher Festival in our, in Ballyshannon, our neighbouring town. But we're also aware that Peppa is beloved by lots of people who maybe big crowds and lots of high noise would be a bit much for them. So we have an autism-friendly screening. We always do that the first Saturday of every month, but there's an autism sensory-friendly screening. So if you would have a little person who would love Peppa Pig, but it might be just a bit too overwhelming for them, this is the perfect show. It's on at 12 o'clock. It's also shown plenty other times. And while I'm saying about special screenings, we also have a subtitle version of my movie of the year so far, Sinners. A couple of people asked, they said, sometimes the dialogue can be hard to hear if you don't have great hearing. And Sinners is on Thursday as well, 5:45.
Okay, that's Collie on Movies. Till next Thursday, enjoy the movies.
Bye.